tatta dhim tatakita dhim tadim tattam.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Padma, and on this channel I share with you the practice and philosophy of body-led spirituality, which is inspired by ancient nature and goddess-led traditions from my culture, which is India. This video is inspired by a class I just finished a few minutes ago with one of the women in my individual program, and we were practicing languidity. And we were talking about how languidity is such a difficult sensation in the times we live in. When we think we're being languid, we think it's the opposite of being active and being productive and goal-oriented and achieving things. Whereas languidity can also be a space of openness and spaciousness, a space of contemplation, a space of attending to the body, because there's something about languidity that I feel it's really something about the body. It's that sense of just lying around. And again, languidity is sometimes considered to be something like laziness. And yet, if you just consider it an embodied practice, if we can take it away from all our judgments and morality as an experience of the body, it can be a very spacious and beautiful and open experience. Languidity is sometimes, in fact, this is what I was discussing with this woman, it's sometimes simply lying in front of a fire on a cold day and just being, listening to the sound of the fire, the smell of the fire, feeling the warmth of the fire just flowing in different parts of the body, and just attending to the pleasure of that moment where you can allow yourself this indulgence. Yes, it is an indulgence, and we need to kind of almost allow it to be an indulgence and not make it instrumental and not make it into another technique or another practice. It's almost like we've got to be wicked and say, well, I'm going to indulge myself in languidity now. It has that wonderful quality that opens up when we allow this kind of wickedness to be unproductive, to waste time, or to be lazy, if that's the words we want to use. But it is that just the moment of being with all our senses in the pleasure of a beautiful experience. And this languidity is fundamental to experiencing the body as a multisensorial space, because our body is of sensation. Our body hears, sees, it has this experience of touch, the skin, experience of feeling the heat or the cold. It has the experience of the scent, the taste. There's so much richness in the sensory cosmos of our body, and we hardly give it space. We're so busy being productive and instrumental and following timetables and routines that all these instruments of pleasure, we don't have time to just allow them to actually bring us the pleasure and enjoyment that they are very capable of doing. And I don't mean looking for something, or it can be so simple. It doesn't have to be some extraordinary or extravagant or some kind of destructive pleasure. But it can be, like I said, the simple pleasure of a warm fire and just being, perhaps listening to the fire or listening to some beautiful music. And I want to share with you one of the practices of languidity, and this actually comes from the practice of the yakshi, which is one of the root manifestations or invocations of the goddess. These yakshis are beautiful, sensuous beings that are said to be living in trees, in nature. And one of the movements that is associated with them. So languidity is the very essence of their being, and they have this beauteous languidity about their movement and the way in which they manifest their beauty in life and in reality. So here is this practice of the yakshi. So please join me. We just gently drop into the feet and feel the movement in the hips. We want those hips to be a little bit heavy and attracted to the earth. And then we're going to just caress the ground. And we move into the hips as we do that. So just attending, so we bring our attention from a distance, we bring it closer to our bodies, and as we go, we move, the head is connected to the hips. It's like you're lost in the sensation. And now we're going to add one more element to it. So this movement is a movement where the yakshi is intoxicated by scent. So she is intoxicated by the scent of the forest, and she's just smelling the scent, and she's intoxicated. So the eyes now are going to go in this figure 8. And when the eyes go, the head follows the eyes. And it's going to be unstable. That's okay. We're not trying to be masterful here, and we're not trying to do things properly. That's the whole thing about languidity. Here the languidity is not passive. So even when we were speaking about lying near the wood fire, it has a sense of presence in attending to that spaciousness of languidity. So we don't switch out of it, and we're not lying there and thinking about things, but we're lying there and attending. And so here we are attending. So as we go, we move the eyes in that figure 8, the lying down figure 8, breathing. And again. And you can wander about. So you can see that there is a bit of instability. Smelling the scent. So here's this rather fun and simple practice, but of course you can also just, if you live in a cold place, then you can just lie down in front of the fire and attend to all the different sensorial experiences, or you can do this movement and just be self-indulgent and languid like the yakshis. And that is when the beauty, the pleasure, and all of the sensorial gifts that nature has for us become available to us, just when we allow ourselves that space, that time, and that restfulness with presence to receive these gifts. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you will enjoy languidity in these really times of tight energies. I hope it will just open up a little space of pleasure and joy in our own sensorial bodies. Thank you again. Look forward to your company next week.